And good afternoon. Here we are in video number 3, learning about Q-learning. So first thing I recommend you do is check out this video and links below. Does a really nice job of taking you from the big picture all the way down to exactly what we're working on. Once you've got that one under control and looking at a lot of other videos so you understand how Q-learning works, then what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you to work your way through this online tutorial, text only, to actually end up creating a sample environment in Python, and we're going to run that. And notice that you're going to have Python running, and you're going to have to be able to import NumPy into your Python, and you're going to end up basically just copying this code, dropping it into whatever you're using for Python. I'm using the idle shell. It's the simplest one. And I created a file, new file, and here's the file with that code pasted into it. And notice I saved it just exactly as it is. Notice I saved it on my desktop, and I called it qlearning.py. Do something so you can put a place where you can find it and whatnot. And then you're going to want to get into your command line and actually run the thing. And here we are on my desktop, Python qlearning.py. Bloop. And that was 1,000 episodes that ran in less than a second. And it shows you this is the learned Q table. So this becomes, if we were pursuing this, this would be the file that becomes our optimized agent. And we're going to, our target policy for optimizing agent. Anyway, and that's going to be what we would use. Now, of course, we're not using this, but the next step, of course, is to put this all into Godot, which if you look on the completed Godot game that I have, sample game that I have, if you look at tester 2, let's look at the script for that. This is the actual script, that same script translated into Godot. And again, if I want to run it, tester 2, instead of clicking this to run my full game, I just want to run this scene. So I've got the scene selected there. And bloop, this one's done. And there's the same kind of shows you what this is, the Q table again. Same thing, output into Godot, which is really cool. So we don't have to worry about something from the outside coming in. We do the whole thing inside Godot. What our next step is going to be is to take this file, and you see, for example, where there's, let's see what was up there, where there's 16 states in the example, that we have 22, and we're going to deal with that in the next video. So in this one, there's not much video here for me to say because there's a couple of really good videos, a couple of really good training, one's a video, one's a training text that you should follow. And there's a lot of other videos to help you with that. Get that down, good. Play with it. Play with this here. Try to understand what happens if you change these hyperparameters, any of those. If you change this to 10,000, what happens? If you change this to 0.2, what happens? Try to understand what these hyperparameters are doing because they affect this Q table function, Bellman's equation. You can look that up too and understand how this whole program works because this is the one we're going to be modifying. Play with this a lot. Take some time, play with it, then come back and look for video 4 where we take this version that's already in Godot and we're going to translate it into something that's going to actually work for our game. And that's it. Take care. Later. Oh, and one little addition that I forgot, and that is, how did I get from Python to Godot? Well, I played around with it for an hour or so, messing with it, and I finally said, oh, let's see what ChatGPT can do for me. So I slammed the whole Python text from the whole script into ChatGPT and asked it to translate to 4.3 Godot. it translated it, but they made two mistakes that I had to fix. One was instead of 4.3, it translated into 3.7. Had to make some corrections there. You look in the documentation to fix that. And the other thing is that instead of tabs for indents, it was using spaces. I had to fix all those. Anyway, it works quite well. You're welcome to try it yourself, or you're welcome to look at the one that's on the sample that I have on the website. Take care.